Welcome to Rugby Heads, powered by the Big Athletic Club, your ultimate destination for all things rugby. Join us as we dive into the highlights of the past week, break down the biggest moments, and spotlight the players that made it all happen. Whether you're a diehard fan like us or new to the game, Rugby Heads has got you covered. So let's scrum down and engage in some good old-fashioned ruggish chat. Schoolboy season has kicked off this weekend, and on that note, my name is Sione from Westside Christian College, and hailing from the Brisbane State High Golden Era, please welcome Alfonso Horomia. And out of Sydney, he may look like a bogan, but he's actually one of us. Out of St. Pius College, please put your hands together for Alex Ironside. And the only opinion on this show with actual lived experience in the pros, he's the one, the only, Nemani Nandolo out of Naji College. Welcome, boys. Welcome back.
Thanks for having us, Tony.
Thanks for having us, mate.
We'll get into schoolboy rugby later on, as it was one of the questions that just got sent in earlier. But rundown for today's show, we start off with our top performers, where we give flowers to the players that stood out for us over the weekend. And then we go deep dive into the games, and we go around the grounds to preview the big three Sanzar test matches. And then we go with our thought of the week, viewers' questions, and finish off with our tips for the weekend. I want to start us off with your player for the week.
Yeah, look, my player of the week didn't play a full game, but when he came on, he changed the game, and pretty easy one. He still got it, and it is Beauden Barrett. I just think, like, to come on off Bomb Squad, Viper Squad, as Manly Marlins are calling it, lame. But yeah, Beauden Barrett off the bench, outstanding, still got it. So impressed with him, and I reckon he really won them the game in the end.
Yeah, good shout. And Beauden, if you're watching this, please unblock us. It might have been from the days when we were trolling probably 10 years ago on the internet machine. Or someone get the message to him. Fons, who's your player for the week?
My player of the week is the Wallabies winger Filippo Dongunu. Yeah, no, he was sharp. I tell you what, kids, chased the kick, I tell you that much, because he was the only one that chased and got the ball and scored that try. And he scored a couple of good tries because he looks so good back on the wing. You wouldn't think he's been playing centre all year. Yeah. So, I mean, he's my player of the week.
Yeah, good shout.
I've gone a whole different approach. I've gone with the Black Ferns that played the Wallaroos on the weekend.
Yes.
I thought, the Black Ferns, oh my God, they're light years ahead, like I said on Twitter, and got abused for it. But my Caitlin Vahakolo, I hope I said that right, to my Tongan viewers, I love you.
Yeah. Trying to win their love back this week.
Yeah, 4 tries. It was very good, mate. And she's my player. Well, my player of the week. Killed it. And again, that team, Black Ferns, were, I think, my team of the week as well. They just absolutely annihilated the Wallaroos. Yeah,
unreal. And you took my pick again this week, but I had a backup. My backup was Lukan Salakaya-Loto. His work rate on both sides of the ball, I think, was massive. And in Ronga's absence during line-out time, he stood up for our Aussie boys. So, shout out to big boy Lukan Salakaya-Loto. Now, let's dive deep around the ground, starting off with the All Blacks versus England. Close game over there at Eden Park. Ironside, kick us off as the only Kiwi on the panel. Oh, actually, yeah, as the half Kiwi on the panel. Forgot about Fons, so beg your pardon, mate. Yep, kick us off, Ironside.
Now, look, I know Sione was calling for his head last week, but I thought Artie Sarver really
I called with my eyes. That was in secret. That was in secret. Not on the show.
I thought he was outstanding. I'll start with what I thought. Like, I thought the Kiwis still kind of controlled the game enough to win it at the end. But I saw a few things in there that make me a little excited as a Wallabies fan. A few little weaknesses there, but you won't hear me give England their flowers too much. But I think Marcus Smith is world class 10, and I thought he played pretty outstanding for them. And their 2 wingers were so good. They were like, that's to go up against some of the best wingers in the world and put a performance like that. That crossfield kick that Smith put in, jumped over to Leo, outstanding. But, you know, like, I think it comes down to, like, England actually looked like they had a crack for the first time in a while. They looked a little bit more confidence. Instead of just trying to play a bit more of that boring style rugby, they looked to have a bit more of a crack, which made it an exciting game towards the end. They were definitely held up. That definitely was not a try at the end. That's a second maul. So just wanted to put that out there. But tough game to ref again. But, I mean, I felt like it's a bit of a theme of the weekend, but England were offside the whole game. And they kind of got away with it a bit, and that's something that's creeping it slowly into rugby at the moment, and they've got to either crack down on it or, I don't know. It was getting a bit ridiculous by the end of it. But good game, pretty happy to see the All Blacks have got a little few weaknesses there.
Yeah. As Fonz, you're the only hearty All Black supporter here. I was watching it with you, and we were probably buckled at the time. Did you remember the game, and what were your thoughts on it?
Well, I did remember some of it. Well, the other half was Ryan Freeney's commentary for the second half of the game.
Yeah.
I would say this, though. England would be kicking themselves they didn't get a win on tour.
Yeah.
Because both games are there for the taking. I thought, man, that centre for England, is it Ollie Lawrence? Man, he's a good player, man. This last couple of games there, he's so strong in contact. Beauden Barrett come on and just, like you brought it up before onside, he just come on there and he was, you know, you could tell everything he did was, you know, turned into gold. That double chip and chase,
yeah.
I got a half chub just thinking about it. He nearly scored.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, geez. But, you know, Ryan Freeney's best mate, Brett Cronin, come to the rescue there, the old TMO at the end. Beautiful.
Yeah,
We'll take that.
Yeah. Ollie Lawrence goes good shout. He was one of the boys that were unlucky during the Eddie Jones era. He's just offside, not on Eddie's good side, and it's good to see him get his flowers and actually shine under Steve Borthwick. And another Leicester man, Nems. What were your thoughts on the game, and also Borthwick's style of coaching and how he's getting the best out of the boys while they're still building?
Yeah, I look a lot. The All Blacks in Eden Park haven't lost a game in 30 years. I think that alone is probably, you know, it says a lot about the All Blacks.
49 in a row.
Well, there you go.
49 in a row, them.
I don't know, but it's a long time. and none of them have been.
No, I'm telling you, it's 49 in a row.
Well, how many years is that? That's a lot of years.
30.
Yeah, well, there you go. So hopefully, but anyway, what I was trying to say is, Beauden Barrett, awesome, showed class. Artie Savia again, you know. But for me, like, to go to Eden Park and play the way, you know, go on a tour like that. There's only one team that's gone there and done really well, and one is Ireland, right? I think England are a team that are going to do well. Really happy with their backline. I think Marcus Smith showed his class against the All Blacks. A lot was said about, you know, the way he plays and the style of rugby that he plays, but I thought he played really well. And like Ironside said, they played it. They played in the right areas, and then, you know, they had a go. They weren't afraid to have a go. I thought they ran a bit more this game than they did last week, a bit more conservative.
Yeah.
But, you know, the back line from Slade to Feo Wamboso, Lawrence, he had a big game. And again, to go to Eden Park and give it to the All Blacks and lead for part of the game, I think it's a testament on how good this England team is going to be. So, but yeah, All Blacks was always going to win. But I was really, really pleased with the way the England team played the last 2 weeks. And let's face it, them and the Irish game were probably the most exciting games to watch on the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ironside, you mentioned before that you found some weaknesses that the Aussie could exploit. What are some work-ons for the All Blacks leading into Rugby Championship?
I think that they couldn't finish like a great All Black side can finish those like tries. You know, when Talia passed that ball back into Perifetta, that's not an All Blacks thing. You wouldn't see an All Blacks butcher a try like that. And not that they did that all game, but there's a few like half breaks and half things where you'd go, geez, a good All Black side, like a really, really good All Black side would punish you for that.
Yep.
That kind of made me feel like that they're just a little bit, they haven't got quite those connections yet. Because maybe Talia, I don't know, I'm not a winger, I never will play in the wing, but I'm always out there fucking seagulling. But I don't know if Talia could have gone then, or, you know, it didn't seem like the right option to do that. And that might be where Perifetta and Talia haven't played enough, you know. But just some thoughts of that. They just couldn't finish as well as the All Black side usually would, for my liking.
I mean, it's hard to gauge off 2 games, isn't it? I mean, if we just come off. I'm talking like I played, but, you just come off the Super Rugby season, 3 weeks ago. And I think I agree with Ironside, just a few things to polish up, finishing. But other than that, I wouldn't look too much into it. Just got to tidy up on a few things, that's all.
Yeah, and doing the rounds over in NZ, media and pundits are talking about it's time to put Bowden after that performance, time to give him the starting jersey, and others are saying just give D-Mac the time. Are you giving him more time? Because this chat, Will Jordan's back for Rugby Championship, and it's going to be those two fighting out that 10. So do you think Bowden's got it, or you give D-Mac a chance this weekend against Fiji in San Diego?
Well, I'd give. I still think D-Mac is good at 10. Bowden's coming, and I'm sure they will start him for the big games. But I don't think D-Mac's done anything that warrants him to get dropped. He does the right thing. Maybe he's restricted in the way he plays, like he does at the Chiefs when he's, playing there. I feel he's got a bit more license to run and do what he wants at the Chiefs. Maybe different here, I think. But it's not. Look, either way, it's not a bad replacement to have on the bench.
Yeah.
Coming off the bench, I mean, he's I would still stick with D-Mac. Like Fon said, it's 2 test matches in.
Yeah.
It's hard to get a gauge, but the back line's still good. Like you said, Will Jordan is coming back, but then again, where do you put Will Jordan? You know what I mean? So do you drop Perifetta? It gives headaches. But look, I think D-Mac's been solid at 10. I wouldn't change him, and if he has, hasn't played to what people think, then he's not far off being, the current 10 for the All Blacks.
All right. And over in Sydney, we had, not Sydney, over in Melbourne, we had the second test, Wallabies versus Wales. Ironside, thoughts on the second test and how the boys are faring, the Wallabies boys?
My first note I had hit right here is, I'm not going to get too much into it and kick them while them down, but thought rugby was alive and well in Melbourne. It didn't look like that with the numbers of the crowd there. Maybe this could have been an opportunity for these people that were really sad, all 10 of them in Melbourne, to come out and support the game, and they didn't. So that really pissed me off to start the game.
Yeah.
They're probably all down watching Nems play third grade at 4 o'clock in the morning. But anyway. Look, I thought it was another good game, another step in the right direction. I thought we started so well, and then we kind of let them off a little bit. Filippo, outstanding, so good. I didn't think it was amazing that first test, but I just feel like he did everything he kind of did wrong, he did right this test, and just good to see him going forward. I raved on him last week. Same thing with our forwards. Valentini still a workhorse. Yeah. He does this thing once or twice a game where he just must decide he wants to take someone out and just fucking launches himself. And I just love that energy. That's, as a number 8 or a back row, you want someone that just really wants to get the energy and shift the energy. But I think the biggest disappointment is that you get a lead in these games, and it happens when we play the All Blacks. Sometimes we're leading against the All Blacks first 20 minutes. We just don't have that as a foot on throat. All right, let's fucking take it to them now and let Wales back in the game. We let them score 2 pretty easy maul tries, which we might ask that, but biggest work on's got to be our forwards. They're big, they're mobile, but we've got to get the shitters right, and the maul defense looked pretty horrific. So a bit worried about that moving forward, but you got to take the wins when you can, and that's another win against not a great Welsh side, but we've been paying well in patches, so I'm pretty excited to see how we're going to go against Georgia this weekend, because I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but Georgia's not an easy beat either. So they're probably just as good as Wales. So it's another hard test against a nation that's probably in our range at the moment. Yeah. Ironside spot on, because I was thinking the same thing. The crowd was quite disappointing. I was watching it with you there, old Tony, and even you brought it up, and I was like, Jesus Christ. But I thought, Filippo obviously played well. The other one that played well, again, I think was halfback Gordon. Yeah. He just controls the game very well, and he looks like he's just very steady. His box kicks again, I thought, were on point.
and he sniffs around a lot too, around the breakdown and whatnot. I thought those two played well. The forward pack again also played well. Warren Gatland, he'd be under a bit of pressure. They didn't win a game all Six Nations as well, dating back all the way to, I think, the World Cup was their last one. They're in a lot of trouble, obviously, there behind the scenes as well. But I tell you what, it's good to see Aussie get 2 wins there, leading into the Rugby Championship. Obviously, you still got Georgia, but I'd like to see this Aussie team kick on from here and obviously head into the Rugby Championship, full of heaps of hope and praise.
Yeah, same thing. Obviously the crowd pretty disappointing. I sort of talked up the week before, but no, it is growing, still getting there down there. So don't diss it.
Yeah. Which seat were you in? What number?
I was in 30. I was with the Welsh crew.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought I saw you there. Yeah.
You probably saw my spot
you in there.
My best mate Tommy Raffel, number 7 for Wales. But yeah, anyway, it was. Look, I was really just to see Australia win. I think is awesome. To see guys like like we keep harping on him. What's his name? Dongunu.
Yeah.
Dongunu played really well. His work rate, like Fon said earlier, chasing those kicks, mate. He's just. And just his. I think he's gotten better. You know what I mean? Not much he's probably had a few quiet seasons in Super Rugby, but these last few weeks, I thought he. I was kind of surprised to be honest of his selection, and now I know why. So that's why I'm here talking to you guys. But no, I thought he played really well. And just touching on the things I need to work on, like Ironside said. A set piece probably, particularly against like your Springboks and your All Blacks where that's their bread and butter. I think that's going to be vitally important. But I think the most important thing is they've won, back to back, which is probably what they haven't done in the last 24 months or however long. So that in itself gives them a lot of confidence. And I'd like to see a more stable 9 and 10.
Yeah.
Change and chop and change. I think, obviously, I'd like to still see Noah and Jake Gordon with that 9 and 10. I just think that their leadership and direction, particularly Jake Gordon, is I think people underestimate his leadership, but he's a really good player. So, I think just closing games out.
Yeah.
They can do that. They're going to be a force in this Tri-Nations.
Yeah, good shout. Definitely working on the more defence. But I thought line-out defence was good overall around the park. I think last few years, my pet hate is line-out defence not going up outside our 22, and the Wallabies have been guilty of that the last few years. Even during the Rennie era, they were just giving away those sort of being passive in those sort of competitive areas. But it's good to see Joe Schmidt making them actually compete in every facet of the game, and they actually got two or three decent line-out stills, which actually turned the game. So it's good to see the boys working towards a complete performance, and hopefully they don't slip up against Georgia this weekend. And over in the Rainbow Nation, Springboks and Ireland, this is like watching Bold and Beautiful, especially at the end of the game. Ironside, kick us off. Thoughts on the game?
Oh, God, I mean, we love rugby, right? But if that's the product, sometimes you worry what's going to happen. I mean, great game, close game. It's just fucking a kick fest in the end. And I think the bit that pissed me off about the kick fest was that I actually think that the Saffers had these penalties and they had momentum and they took the points. And I actually think that they were rolling down the field and they had some scrum pens and then they went straight for the kick.
Yeah.
I think they could have gone again. Their step piece is so much more dominant. And I think that's like another work on where I actually see a weakness of the Saffers is they're kind of scared to have a crack. Like if it's a close game, they're just going to keep ticking over points, which will work. But if you're scoring tries, then you can't just keep ticking over points. So I was really impressed with Connor Murray. I thought he was easily the best player in the park for the 9 for Ireland, obviously. And even their 10, Jack Crowley, tough 10 jersey take over. But, like, he was even defensively, he was pretty awesome. But, yeah, look, like, if you could defend against South Africa and not give away penalties, and which the All Blacks can do, like, I feel like you can stick in the game with them. I don't think they're the same. They're the same force. They're always going to be a force to be reckoned with, but I don't think they're the same force that's won a World Cup. And I feel like that could be very Australian underestimating me, but I'm going to pretend that was my Kiwi hat on. But yeah, look, I don't. And I'm not too unimpressed with it. Not super impressed with them. I'm glad Ireland won, I guess, but they're still the most. They might be the most unbearable rugby fans in the world because they're already talking about how they're world number one. They beat South Africa. Fucking win a World Cup quarterfinal. I mean, so that's my opinion. I've told every Irish bloke this week that I love the Irish, but when it comes to rugby, they are unbearable at the moment. So keep singing your songs in the pub over a draw in South Africa. Imagine what you'd sing if you'd won a World Cup.
whoa. Finding words. Oh, man. I actually thought it was a good game.
Tony, I hope you chopped that up for the socials, all of that. But I'll say Ironside's right about 8 penalty kicks. South Africa scored no tries, 8 penalty kicks. A couple of times they were in their 22, and I thought they were going to go in here. And obviously they've taken the kicks. Tight game. Obviously they respect the Irish if they're taking the kicks. Pollard doesn't miss, so obviously if you tighten up your discipline, it's obviously saving the points there. I thought Ireland were so dominant that first half. They wouldn't let South Africa play their game plan like they normally do. South Africa like to, dictate on their terms how they want to play. Set piece, obviously kicks. But I thought the only crap thing about it is that it's a 1-1 draw and there's no third test.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Like this year, none of these games have a third test because we're all playing Tier 2 nations next week. So that's the only disappointing. Would have liked to seen a third test in South Africa, but 2 drop goals at the end. That's pretty clutch. Over there and to run away with 1-1.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with the Ironside here. No, I get what he means. Like, yeah, it's a boring game to watch, but I think if you like the way the game was managed, kicking. I think everyone talks about how boring kicking is, but if you actually watch the game and dissect it, they're playing territory. And like Fon said, when Pollard, he doesn't miss at that level, utilise his boot. If you're going to get 8, 3-pointers out of it, why not? Again, yes, they've got a set piece and they've got a forward pack, but the Springboks, I feel that they sort of play a very kicking-orientated game, as we all know. They're probably the team from the Southern Hemisphere that sort of plays like the Northern Hemisphere. But I really enjoyed that game. I guess maybe this is my experience of playing in UK, but just the way that the game was managed. And again, Ireland to go over there and win. I literally I watched the highlights and the full game. And then I was on Twitter at the same time, and the amount of abuse the South African supporters were giving, I was like, oh my God. Like, it was, one guy made fun of a Springbok player and told him he hadn't won a World Cup or something. And I was just like, what the hell? I don't know if I can say it right. But anyway, they started turning on each other. So I really think,
Classic South Africans.
Chill, just calm down. We get it. The Springboks are the best in the world. They've won 2 back-to-backs. And then, obviously, I don't know. I think it's just every time the Springbok supporters talk, the Irish supporters, they want to have a say. And then this win, oh, my God, now it's going to be, argy. But anyway, I'm Fijian, Australian, I'm happy days. I love watching it. They just need to relax with their whole, with the best in the world, because we get it. We get it.
I actually thought to myself, I was probably still drunk on Sunday when I was watching the game. I thought that Russie was doing a Luke Evans, like back in the bars, Luke Evans was one of our scrum half, and his rule to himself was he couldn't score any tries. I thought Rusty was giving the players, like after the what they did to the Irish last week, I thought he gave them the challenge of going for points and not trying to score tries and not trying to push, just finding a different way to win the game, which they almost did. So I don't know if he was actually doing it or was just a half cut, but yeah, that's something to think about or something to forget about. Anyways, that pushes us into our thought of the week, where we want to make rugby great again, or something that we've been thinking about to help make rugby great again. Ironside, you want to kick us off?
I think I might have used this over my 2-year tenure talking about rugby with Pig Athletic before, but I just want to reiterate it. The maul. The maul is a blight on the game, in my opinion. We're never going to get rid of it, but I quite hate the maul at times because it's just so inconsistently managed. I think that you get 2 chances to use it in the maul. I feel like 1 chance to use it, as soon as it goes back, that's it. I hate this whole. The best mauls to watch and when it's exciting are those turbo mauls where they roll the corner and it goes quick. You can't set the maul, you got to go forward straight away, otherwise you got to use it.
Yeah, good shout. That would be a good one to put in before Wallabies play again. But I thought the Black Ferns game, I thought the refs kind of changed it and did only the once, and then they told them to use it if it didn't go anywhere after that one time, like straight away. So I don't know if it's a rule they just brought in or if not, but yeah, it's a good shout. Fons?
That rule you were just talking about, they're trialling that in the Under-20 World Cup as well. So normally, obviously, the old rule was you had 2 chances to use it. Now it's only 1. So once it stops once, the ref will just say use it. There's a few of them in the Under-20 World Cup, which is actually quite good. It was good to watch that. But I do think scrum resets, like sometimes, like I'm not a prop even though I look like one, but I tell you what, sometimes penalties are going up, and half the time I'm like, geez, I didn't think there was any dominance here. I just think it takes a lot of time out of the game, scrums. I'm not saying get rid of them, but I'm just saying like
tread carefully,
tidy up a little bit. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. But the other thing I actually like is having last names on jumpers and selling them like merchandise. Instead of like England did it. I don't know if you've seen the England shirts, they got last names on it. It'd be cool to see one of those. Like all teams having last names, and then people want to buy it. Like someone that'd be like, it's Artie Savere or Craig Gordon. I reckon that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think they've been talking it for ages, but until I don't know what they're waiting for. Nems?
For me, that use it rule when the halfback has to bolt, and he's going for a box kick.
Yeah.
And they do the whole caterpillar or whatever they call the snail. But I'm not a forward. I look
Human
like
centipede.
Yeah, whatever it is. I think I'd like to see the ref be a bit more harder on the use it. Like we say use it, and then old mate still playing, tunnel ball.
Yeah.
I'd like, them to probably knuckle down on that with the use it call. I think sometimes with different refs, they say use it, old mate still takes 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you get use it, and then you get some refs that literally blow it up. So I think consistency there, because it's good. And then can you imagine the ego of a halfbacks these days? They'll be arguing, saying it's not long enough. But yeah, that's what I'd like to see change or happen.
Good shout. My one's more off the back of, I don't know if people have seen the Quade Cooper podcast with Ice the other week. Quade brought up a good fact about teaching backs and teaching people the set piece. Like Quade said, he actually took some time to actually learn the scrum and what it takes to actually do well and win it. So I think some of the backs have to do some scrum, because I remember when I first got the tap to say that I was too fat and go into the front row, that first scrum session I had no idea, and I was struggling because scrums used to be just a rest period for me on the side of the scrum. But yeah, I think the backs need to come in and do a bit of learning, and even some of the back rowers need to have a bit of a scrum session just so they can learn what it takes to actually do well in the scrum and the little intricacies that props do to try and win it. So just a bit more scrum education, I think. You put them in schools too, just for everyone else. Yeah, it's all about discipline. That's what moral of the story. Scrum's all about discipline.
Yeah, and you guys want to come learn how to catch a ball?
Well, wingers want to turn up to that lesson as well.
I'm kidding. No, that's, fair.
Catch a ball and fall over in the corner. Catch a ball and fall over in the corner.
Mate, don't forget our 4th grade game, mate.
I would have been a Wallaby if I got to run off Nems every time I tell you.
All right. We got a few viewers' questions. First one, what do the Wallaroos need to do to get in the same level playing field as the Black Ferns to make it a competitive Laurie O'Reilly Cup? Nems, you want to kick us off?
Oh, mate, I think for starters, get him to join the Super Rugby. Is it Upper Cookie?
Aupiki.
Aupiki. So I sounded so Australian then.
No, we'll go Upper Cookie. That's good.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Sorry. Apologies to my family. But no, like they need to combine this competition. The Super Rugby W as well has to combine with the teams from New Zealand. Like watching that game on the weekend. Holy hecker! The Black Ferns literally were playing. It was women against girls.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like if anything, I think they need to play in the same comp so that they can, be exposed to that sort of rugby week in, week out. And, in terms of the level of where, the two competitions are at, you saw that yesterday. That's, I think they need to combine it together. And the quicker they can do that, obviously I get it, contracts and professionalism and all this and that, but you can't be seeing 63-0 scores like that at international level, particularly with two countries that are rich in history in terms of rugby. So, and you know what? Credit to the crowd at Ballymore. That literally reminded me of back in the days. Back in the days when you used to go and watch the Reggie's play on Saturday
Super
Arvo.
12, yeah.
And it goes back to what we were talking about. So I'm going off track here, but talking about what we were talking about last week about playing in smaller stadiums.
Yeah.
How good is that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think they need to play. They need to, the Wallaroos, the Brumbies, the Fiji Drua, all these teams, they need to combine it. And otherwise, you're just going to keep seeing scores like that.
I'll look at it at a different approach because I think I'd actually go one step further. The thing like that Wallaroos team, I don't think would actually win a game if they were playing against all picky sides over in New Zealand. I think the issue is a bit deeper than that. I think it's also, a lot of the top female players are now playing NRLW. That's the other issue you've got, is that all that top talent's going to pay league because obviously they're getting paid as professional. Black Ferns, their squad's professional, and it's literally professional against amateurs. And you can't be surprised at the result when professional outfits coming over and playing a team that, some of these ladies still have jobs to go to.
Yeah.
So, because the Women's Rugby World Cup's here in 5 years as well. And that's not really that long away, especially if you're hosting a World Cup. We talked about it during the day about maybe even sharing players between two codes. I know you can't do it in the men's game, but I can't see why you can't do it in the women's game, especially when the season at the start of the year is only, 2-3 months?
Yeah.
And the NRLW doesn't start till, next month. I don't see why not. You can not do both.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the sevens are doing it after the Olympics. They're going to play league because they can. And I think if you can, especially for the women's, if you can make money playing both sports, then, take that opportunity.
Yeah.
They don't have to follow what guys do,
100.
I think I agree with that. Like, I mean, you look at the if you could go back to watching the women's Origin, how many ex-rugby union players are out there? Like Emma Donegado, I can think of, Jamie Chapman, and there's so many more that were rugby union stars, women's players, sevens players, whatever, that we've lost. So they're not the our picky sides don't have to. That's how I pronounce it, I think, Nems.
Yep.
But they don't have to compete with. They don't have to compete with that in New Zealand as much. So it's kind of you're seeing exactly what's happened to our rugby union in the men's game happening to the women's game. It's like fucking deja vu. So I mean, I agree. I don't think the Wallaroos would beat any of those our picky sides, but I mean. How do we do that? Do we send 2 teams over, Australian teams, but what 2 Australian teams do we want to send over, or do we send 3? But I don't know if that's necessarily the answer to go over and then get absolutely smashed.
But in saying that, if you say, like you said, you send 2 strong teams, you don't have to send 3 or even 1 strong team just to compete. Like, that's exposure. Like, that's what I said last week about South Africa not being in a Super Rugby team or, you know, not being in the Super Rugby. Australian young kids don't get that exposure of getting over there and getting belted by bigger guys and getting at high altitude. That's what I was trying to say last week. It's the same. It's one way or another, you're going to get exposed to it. You're going to have to play these guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that makes really good sense. But then how the ARU going to do that? Obviously not. They would.
Yeah, well, that's the next question.
That maybe, but like, how are you going to get all the governing New South Wales, Queensland, ACT? They're all going to think that their team should be sent over, and that's the problem. Well, there's a deeper root of the problem here. I agree with you, but like, are they going to do that? No, they're either going to send all the Super W sides or none of them.
Yeah, well,
maybe just send the Wallaroos national team and then just do it that way.
Yeah, like Nem said, Fon said, don't follow the men's game. So you shouldn't be trying to please the Brumbies, the Reds and the Waratahs. We're already struggling with the men's game. So yeah, we definitely shouldn't be following their footprint.
I'll be trying to get some of those union girls back from league to union.
Yeah.
Shannon Marto's another one. She was player of the series.
Yeah.
She was in that Queensland Reds team in Super W in that very first season. That very first season of Super W was some of the strongest rugby women's have played because back then NRLW wasn't around.
Yeah.
Just like our Super Rugby, you know, money's more in another competition. All of our talent starts going overseas. You know,
Yeah.
It's the same thing that's happening in the women's game. There's no quick fix to it.
Yeah.
And obviously, financial-wise, flying women's teams overseas to go play is another issue. But I do think we need to get some of those girls back to playing union and say, like, you can still go play league, but come back and play Super W as well.
Yeah. Well, I won't say my fixes because we'll probably get our invite to Wallaroos camp rescinded. But my little fixes is just, I don't know what's happened with the changeover in coaches, but it took Sione Fukufuka and his coaching team like a few years to get the perfect, like to find the players' actual positions and how they the combinations. And it wasn't until WXV last year where they actually hit their prime, and I think they almost beat England, and then they beat France in their last game. And that was when they had Karis at 10, they had Arabella at 12, and then had Moleka at 15. And I feel like they've just started from scratch right now, and they've got rid of a few of the old heads, and they've changed the positions of all these players just based off Super W rather than going off of what the previous coaching staffers have been working for the last 3 years. So I don't know if there was a bit of a mix-up in changeover, or if Sione took all his notes to America and didn't want to share any of the tips. But I think there was just a little bit of a changeover issue in the changeover there, which is why we're pretty much starting from zero, starting from scratch. And I still think Arabella's best position's at 12 and Karis Dellinger, who's not even in the squad, at 10. So they can share that sort of playing role, and Arabella can run. She's the ball runner as well. So, little fixes, and please don't take our invite away for coming to some concert. Wallaroos, I love you guys. Well, did I say I love you guys out loud? Oh, shit. Shit. Black Ferns might see this. Oh, okay. With schoolboy rugby returning, what were your best moments playing schoolboy footy, and what were your worst? Start off with Nems. What are your favourite moments back in Nudgy?
Favourite was scoring the winning try. We hadn't won a game. The school hadn't won a game in 2 years or 2 seasons.
That was Fernie's era before you. Yep.
Yeah, so the year before my year was 04. That first 15 team never won a game. And he was and I used to remember them, like, because I played 16As, I never made first. And they were like, they used to walk around school, and I was like, the dormitories and stuff. And I used to be like, fuck. And I was like, well, you guys haven't won a game. But anyway, they've got their 20-year reunion this year.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So that was, and then I scored the winning try. There's some photos still floating around, I think, but it was against Will Genya. He tried to. He was the last man defence. Played halfback, ran over and scored won the game. So that was then more so the victory. The worst memory was we played. We needed to win this game, right? To win the premiership, and we came up against Churchy. It was like 10,000 people at the school that was going off. They were stacked. They had Quaid at 10, Pocock at 12. Anyway, this team was good. We thought, well, look, we're into a chance here. I was 12. Will Chambers, old Melbourne Storm player, he was 13. The whole school, like literally, we thought, Jesus, we're untouchable here. We're going to win here. We got punished 43-3.
Holy.
And they took out the trophy. But yeah, that was my memories from high school.
Yeah. And Fonz, what was your best memory? Stay high.
I mean, I was just fortunate to be around some good players. I actually got a memory, but it's not from State High. It's actually from my school in New Zealand, Hamilton Boys.
Name dropper.
We played. I remember we played Tukaro High School, and they hadn't lost in 2 years, and we beat them. And straight after the game, they started up the haka after the game. So
did you join
we were
in?
like, what? After the game? What? So next thing, one of our guys started up the haka as well. So we were like, all right, sweet. So we did the haka after the game, and next thing the hakas were merging, and we didn't even get to finish the haka. Parents are pulling kids out. It was ugly.
Too much mana,
and
bro.
afterwards, we were just getting abused from our coach in the changing rooms, and I'm just trying not to laugh in the corner. You know when you're just getting told off?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, never forget that. That was one of the funniest things that's ever happened. But yeah.
Was that the best and worst, or was there another worse?
No, it was the best. It was the best. The worst was tackling for an hour in the sandpit with, I don't know if you remember Matty Garland. We missed so many tackles one week, and we were just tackling for a whole hour in the sandpit because we didn't make one tackle all game.
At Ironside?
Well, it's well-known fact that's where I peaked and lived my best rugby career was at high school. We weren't very good in my school, but we were all right. But I mean, probably my most proudest, best moment was I was in year 10, and that's when I made my first 15 debut. So I played 3 years of first 15, just dropped that. It was against a good rugby school down here, Oak Hill. They would beat a lot of the GPS sides, and went up against, couldn't tell you their names, but I know they were both 2 Australian schoolboys. I was 15, they were 18, they were men. And I remember making 2 of my best chop tackles, never made a better chop tackle, and I just closed my eyes and held onto their legs. And just a moment after that, did earn the respect of a few older boys at school. Was always nice, but definitely a lot of bad memories at school. We used to get every now and then dusted by 60 points, 80 points at times. It just depended how many of the league boys wanted to play at our school. And we had a few of them, and I would be the only one playing every week. And then someone would decide, this will be a hard game. I'm not going to play this week. I've got SG Ball tomorrow. So a lot of sad memories at that school when I came to rugby. And I think maybe that's what defeated me when I came into Colts and into grade. I'd already lost enough, and I just just got on the drink too much and didn't really give a shit. But no, it was good memories. Got to captain first 15 as well, and peak of my rugby powers at times. But, you know, you got to look back on with fondness to those days, but a lot of big defeats.
You were the Curly Beale of your school then.
Well,
you wear a white headgear.
Mate, there's the player before me that was any good at pies was Michael Hooper, so I was never going to live up to that fucking expectation.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, I went to a soccer school, so I didn't really have any decent rugby memories at high school. But boys, the last question from the same guy is, and for the school leavers this year, what's one tip you could give them when they're choosing a club or choosing which code to go with after school?
If you want to make it, go to a good club. That's. But if you want to enjoy rugby, go with your mates. You know what? I don't know. I ended up at Sunnybank third Colt, so I went to 2 clubs in 1 year at Colt. So I don't know, mate. Follow your heart, really, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just do what makes you happy. Some guys just want to follow their mates to go play at one club, and if you're chasing, then obviously, but just do what makes you happy. But I got a funny story. My brother, he got asked to go to Brothers out of school, and only he got asked, not me. Obviously, I wasn't good enough. So Mum goes, no, either you take both of them or you don't. So obviously we went to Sunnybank. So sorry, my bad.
You're the reason why he didn't make it.
Yeah, and he would have been the only darkie there anyway. So come on, man.
But it's funny. I find it's funny you say that because I went to Brothers Colts. And then after that, I was the only sort of black, a good dark guy in that team, or the Islander. So I went to Sunnybank because every Thursday there's a place called Fitzy's out in Logie.
Yeah. I know where that is. I know.
I used to see you on the dance floor there. I went to Sunnybank purely because that on Thursday nights after training, we'd wait in the car park and then go to Fitzy's from there. But look, I turned out all right. So look,
shout out to Fitzy's. Onside, you actually, you were a really good rugby league player, but you chose Union, so you probably took the wrong path. What's the one tip you could give to someone, school leaver?
If you want to make some money, go play Park League because you end up playing 4th grade. No, look. I'll start with a little story because we got one, but this might horrify people to know, but I almost, coming out of Colts, I almost went and played for this club called Gordon down in Sydney. That was that was almost my first choice, and I'm so glad I didn't. So maybe don't go and play for Gordon because you'll be a loser. Whoa. It depends if you want to play for. If you want to play footy and play for a good club, pick and stick and stay at the same club because you'll make it. Like if you're good enough, you'll make it. You know, I never made it enough at North because that was a good club, and for various other reasons. And secondly, if you want to make money, go to the richest clubs in Sydney and do a trade, and then you'll do all the plumbing for all the rich people because there's no other plumbers at North, so I've got a monopoly on the market. So start thinking like a businessman as well. Like think about, if I want to be a banker, maybe I'll go play at East. Like East. If you want to work, play at East. Maybe a builder. Think about things that people need. Don't worry too much about the rugby sense. Think how you can make money off the people from your club.
Yeah.
Very well said, Einstein. Very well said.
All right. And we'll finish off with our tips of the week. I've only got 4 games that we'll do a little bit of a multi on, starting off with the Reds and Wales here at Suncorp on Friday night. Wales trying to get the win on their last game on tour. Boys, what are we thinking? I'm thinking Reds upset, but what are you thinking?
My inside source says that Wales will put out a strong team, and they will beat the Reds.
Okay, big or
by 10.
By 10. Fons, what do you reckon?
Who's I'd like to know who's coming out of club rugby to play this, because I'd assume they won't have the Wallabies because they play the next night. But that's interesting to hear that Wales are taking this quite serious. So I'd say Wales 1-12.
Well, I think Wales need to, because if they lose, that's going to be an even bigger hole going home. Onside, you reckon Wales 1-12 or?
Well, be attendant, so I'm going to be a Reds fan, and going to say the Reds are going to get over in a tight one, good game, having a crack, 1-7.
Yeah, I'm going to go off onside 1-12. So we're in the middle here, so we're going to pick a draw. So pick a draw on that one.
Half-time draw, mate.
Draw in the first game, and then Wallabies versus Georgia in Sydney. I don't know how Sydney's got 2 test matches and Brisbane have none, but who are we picking in this one? Georgia did come off a
same
win
thing.
against Japan.
Yeah, Georgia got. I don't know. I just think the Wallabies are 2 wins on a trot. They'll go 3. They're starting to roll. Georgia will be tired. They've been travelling a lot.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, I just think set piece wise, maybe Georgia will win, but scoreboard tells me Wallabies will win 10 plus.
10 plus. 1 to 12, or are we going to go 13 plus the Wallabies?
Sorry, 1 to 12, yeah. Because, mate, like, Georgia's still a good team. Like,
Yeah.
I think
1 to 12.
It's another. It's going to be my second match I attend of the weekend, and I think the Wallabies are going to dust them 13 plus. Afternoon game should be. I think it's going to be good weather down here. I reckon they're going to dust them, run them around the park. They're knackered, as Nem said. Too much travelling for the Wallabies. So Wallabies going to pump them.
It's not going to be a pushover though. This Georgia team's actually quite good.
Yeah, we'll stay home on this one. We'll go Wallabies 1 to 12.
Yeah.
All right, and across the Dutch, actually, across the big Pacific Ocean.
Pacific, mate.
Yeah, across the ocean, we've got the All Blacks in San Diego against Fiji. Mate, it's let's hope the boys don't go walkabout before the game, because PB is a good spot, bro. Who are we going?
I'm actually flying over there. I'm flying over for the game, so I'll try and secure the boys together. Just say, boys, 80 minutes.
Let's hope you make it to the game. Don't get lost in PB.
Yeah, mate. I've got to make sure I make the game.
All Blacks, surely All Blacks. I reckon it might be close. Fiji look decent.
Nims. Hey, Nims, do you know who Fiji pretty much going to play their strongest side, I'd assume?
Yeah, this will be their strongest side going in to the game. But man, like, yeah. Look, I want Fiji. My heart says Fiji, but my head says the All Blacks. So you guys name it.
All Blacks will probably have to pick their strongest side, because it's one of those games that they're playing over in America. They want to win the fans, and the fans will only know the big names.
Do you reckon?
I don't know if they will.
Will play their
No,
I reckon.
I don't think they will. They might tinker, I reckon, because this is the only chance where I think, they would earmark this game and tinker with a couple of guys.
I agree.
I don't know if it's going to be a pushover though. I think it's going to be a bit tighter than what people think.
Yeah, I mean, it won't. Well, I hope it won't be a thrashing, but look, it's going to be.
My heart's saying Fiji as well. That's why I've got my Fijian top on. My heart's saying Fiji as well. And I just butcher. I might butcher some Fijian, because Nems has butchered some Māori early on. But the Bulavanaka, I think Fiji will go pretty well. But I still think the All Blacks are good over. But I think it'll be close. I think it'll be 1 to 12. I can't see it being a pumping.
Yeah, it'll be entertaining.
All right. Yeah, we'll lock in 1 to 12 to be nice. But yeah, hopefully Fiji get an upset there. And then lastly, Springboks hosting Portugal. Well, let's just firstly pray for Portugal. Hope that the Springboks put in their C-D team. I know Portugal lost a lot of their players after the World Cup, so I don't know how good they will be.
I watched the game against Namibia. It was they played pretty well. So.
What was the score?
I also noticed that one of the.
Okay, mate.
I saw one of the Portuguese players, Duarte. He played in the World Cup. He got married a couple of weeks ago, and I did see that 90% of the Portuguese squad was there. So they're coming off a bit of a few big weeks on the pitch into a game. So might go the way of how Tonga went after the military camp. But I don't know. It's a pretty tall order for the Portuguese, I think.
Oh, mate, that was funny. That was the numbers in the socials and the comments. I don't know if Nem's read all the ones, and especially the ones in Tonga. And I was like, hey, everyone relax, man. It's a joke. It's a joke.
I tell you what, my DMs were going off. And then when they lost, I was getting told like,
yeah.
I had to get my Bible out and start praying for
Well, but yeah, big things coming for Tonga against Spain this week. Let's go. Okay, and shout-outs. Any shout-outs? Anyone in the communities or anyone in general? Onside?
Yeah, look, I'll give a quick shout-out to the Reds and Wales and the Caxton and everyone in Queensland. I'm making the journey up for the night, Friday night. Go watch the Reds-Wales game. We're going to be doing some shit in the car park at the Caxton. Hopefully film a pod up there. We'll just get it done, get around it. Let's support rugby. This is a great opportunity. Not often do these tour matches happen.
Yeah.
And be good to see, you know, a packed Suncorp and then straight up to the Caxton for a few thousand schooners with the Queenslanders. It double heads after a loss on Origin on Wednesday night. I'll be a pretty confident New South Welshman up there.
All right, Fonz.
Good shout there. I'll give a shout to my son who turns 2 tomorrow. So happy birthday to my boy. And the second shout out I'd like to give a shout to is the US Secret Service, because they look like they had better defence than the Wallaroos did. So.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry. Hey, sorry, but hey.
Okay, cut, mate. Cut, Tony.
And them shout outs.
My shout out today, one and only, to all my Tongan people. Big game against Spain. Win. Obviously, last week was misunderstanding. I know the Tongan and Fijian accent is different, but I just want to say big offlay up to my boys. Because big game against Spain, vamos.
Oh shit! Oh wow! Yeah, hopefully Tonga it's coming home in Tonga against Spain on the weekend. But my shout out is for everyone that turned out to Norths on the weekend for the Jordan Luke fundraiser after his injury, and also Black Ferns and the Reds. We were in Ballymore and then over at East with the Black Ferns last week. And also shout out to Wallaroos. We did get the invite, but just it didn't work with the boys' work schedule. So some of our followers were roasting him in the comments. Just chill. We're closing the gap.
Only pressure.
Yeah, chill. But yeah, like Ironside said, meet us at Caxton on Friday night after work, and then they lead into Wales versus the Reds at Suncorp. So boys, thanks for jumping on. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you at Suncorp on the weekend. Let's go.